have you allowed yourself to think like what this movie would have meant to a young Simu Liu to watch a character like Shang-Chi on the big screen? I mean, this would have blown your mind as a kid, I'm sure.
I mean, definitely it would have probably been my favorite superhero. I mean, I even remember like every iteration of the Power Rangers that I watched religiously, by the way, that if there happened to be an Asian Power Ranger, I would be fixated on that character because they just struck me as a reflection of myself. I hope that Shang-Chi will be that for so many people who had never seen themselves reflected in that way. But beyond that, I think there is value in sharing our culture and just to being a bridge in sharing stories is part of the reason why I loved Black Panther so much, why I loved Spider-Verse so much. I felt like I was sharing in other people's culture, and even if I didn't grow up, in that environment, or if I couldn't, relate personally in the beginning of the movie, I certainly felt that by the end that I had been taken on a journey and I came to a greater degree of understanding.
Simu, congratulations, man. This is a real pleasure. I've been looking forward to chatting with you for a while. This movie so delivers. You totally nail it, man.
Okay.
Let's go back to how this one kind of sort of begins, because it's got an interesting journey behind it. Back in December 2018, you tweet the following: "Okay, Marvel, are we going to talk or what? Hashtag Shang-Chi." So give me a sense, where were you at then? Did it help the cause? Is it just one of those funny stories or what?
I think Steve Jobs said it best, you can connect the dots going backward, but at the time, you just have no clue. I mean, I had something like 500 followers, maybe less at the time, and I think 2 people were like, yeah, sure, that'd be cool. There wasn't any inclination in my mind that I would actually have a shot. And I honestly didn't even remember that I tweeted it until after I was announced at Comic-Con, and then some people were like, hey, you realize that you predicted this, right?
What they don't know is you were tweeting about every potential role in every franchise. So this one just
I know. It's like Nostradamus. Like, you don't know all the stuff that he was wrong about. He just got lost on a bunch of stuff.
Well, you did get this one right. And then flash forward to the following summer at Comic-Con, you come on out. There's a great photo that you put on Instagram that summer where it looks like you're like longtime best buds with Benedict Cumberbatch and like a cavalcade of stars. Give me a sense of like what it was like to be with like the Marvel AllStars. Did you feel, at one with all of them?
Let me tell you what I wore that day, Josh. All right. I had a top that was maybe $19.99. All right. Canadian. So with the exchange rate, it's probably like $3.
$15.
Yeah. If that. And then, skinny jeans, let's say maximum $39.99. And, just like an old worn pair of Chucks. So that's what I was rocking. I had not shot a single second of a Marvel movie, and I was asked to be on stage next to like Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek. Like, everybody was there. And what's so hilarious about that photo is that I was ushered on stage at the very end to like take a photo, and I just kind of like blindly, they were like, oh, go this way, and I was ushered to the right side of the stage. Most of the people were on the left,
right?
And I kind of just show up and I'm like, what is going on? And I feel this hand reaching around me, and I turn around and I'm like, no, it is Benedict Cumberbatch. And he's like, hi, I'm Ben, and he's so nice. And then we literally look at the photographer, and they're like right in front of us. And so if you look at the photo on stage, it's like the largest thing in the photo is Benedict Cumberbatch's hand.
Right.
It's it up, and it takes up like 50% of the frame, and then it's him, and then he's got his hand around me, and then it's like everybody else is like in this tiny little corner. Right. It's really just Benny and me.
Yeah.
And the expression on my face is exactly like just not cool at all. But I was like, just realizing that the person next to me was Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, it was a very, very authentic moment. But if you ask if I felt at home at all, I mean, absolutely not. If you talk about experiencing imposter syndrome, and I know that we all experience it to some degree, but imagine being on that stage at that point where it was like, I hadn't done anything. I'm just happy that we have a movie now, for sure.
You have a great movie. And as you well know, being the first Asian Marvel superhero, it's a privilege and a burden, I would imagine. Like, give me a sense of sort of like, are you feeling both of those emotions as you release this movie?
Any burden that I might feel on any given day, I think is offset by the fact that I got this role and I built my career on projects that really spoke to the Asian experience, whether it was Asian American or Asian Canadian, where I grew up. Basically, I was on a show called Kim's Convenience for a number of seasons, and that also featured a predominantly Asian cast, and dealt with our lived experiences, and was so incredible for that. I'm very aware of what I owe my career to, and so anytime I feel like it's there's any sort of burden, I think back to being on Kim's Convenience and just feeling so fortunate that somebody out there wrote that story, and that somebody out there opened the gate for me. I think it's all I can do to want to do the same and to pass that kindness forward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, like, speaking of kind of opening gates and kind of making headway, you think of Chadwick Boseman, who obviously had a similar kind of experience, I would imagine, on Black Panther. Did your paths ever cross before we lost Chadwick, or did you ever get a chance to talk to him about it?
Unfortunately not. I remember the day that we all kind of found out about his passing, and it was so shocking, and we had to go and we had to shoot our movie the next day, and I just knew that I had to say something to honor him. I've said this a number of times before, but our movie would not exist if it weren't for him and what he put into the character of Black Panther. He was just such an incredible advocate and so poised in every single interaction. I look up to him. I shy away from any sort of comparison to him because I, quite honestly, don't think anybody could live up to that memory. But I acknowledge the legacy that he left behind, and I hope that I can in some way continue it, and be one of the people that continues it. But we kind of did a moment of silence on set for him, and I said a few words about how just deeply I felt his loss, and especially being in this unique position of being his peer and his contemporary in a lot of ways, just feeling how incredibly much that everybody at Marvel missed him.
One of the best things I can say about this movie is, after the 2+ hours, it just leaves you wanting more. You're like, just give me more. I'm ready. Like, why do I have to wait years more for more Shang-Chi? And certainly this is his story, but it tees up, obviously, interactions in the future with other Marvel heroes, and maybe some even pop up by the end credits. Who knows? No spoilers. But who are you excited to see your character interact with in the future? You must have daydreamed about what kind of fun interactions Shang-Chi will have with other Avengers.
I daydream all the time about so many things, and the thing is, I do not possess the level of security clearance to know what any of them may or may not be in the future. So, imagine my fingerprint being scanned in that big bunker, and then being like, access denied.
But you're a writer yourself. What would you write for your own character if you had the wherewithal?
I would write me kicking the crap out of everyone in a friendly match, of course. No, I think it's it was my dream, before I was cast in this role, to be in the MCU. That was my dream, and one of the things that I loved about the MCU was how much and how seamlessly the characters kind of wove in and out of each other's stories and teamed up. So of course, that's something that I want for me. I love a good team up. I love a good team up. And if I should be so lucky to be with any of them, I would certainly be up for it. Just as long as we have a nice little friendly fight and right. Shang-Chi wins.
Of course, yeah. I know you grew up idolizing, among others, and like many, the great Jackie Chan. There's a Rumble in the Bronx poster I notice in this. In some of the fight sequences, are there little homages or moments or ways to honor an icon like that? And do you have any hope that he sees this film? And what would you want to hear from your idol about this movie?
I mean, anything that he would have to say would be such an incredible honor for me to hear. It would just be validation at the highest level. I absolutely grew up kind of idolizing Jackie, and as I got to know his approach to action, choreography more, I think I just admired his craft progressively more. One of the amazing things about our movie and the stunt team that worked on it is so many of them actually came from the JC stunt team, and so that influence was kind of evident from day one. And whether we did it consciously or not, the DNA is there, and I think you can really see it in our bus sequence. I think there's lots of little moments in there that pay homage to the Jackie Chan movies of yore.
Where did the jacket move come from? Was that in the script, the little kind of pull down the jacket at the end of the fight?
I think that was a character thing. I don't want to take credit for it. I don't want to pat myself on the back. Maybe it was something that Destin and I came up with together, but But I think it was just, I think I was just trying to straighten out the jacket a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to look good after a fight.
Yeah.
What's the next dream to manifest? I mean, you've achieved a big one here on out, but one of the things I love about you and watching you in interviews and stuff is like, you're like me, you're like us. I know you love like Star Wars and genre stuff. Like you grew up with all of it. Like, how do you dream bigger than being a Marvel superhero at this point?
That's a really good question. And I, what you just mentioned, going to space, going to, exciting, different worlds. I think each of them would be a dream come true in and of themselves. I want to say that the one thing I want to manifest, I think, for my career in the future is that I continue to kind of take on these roles that challenge people's perception of Asian people, of Asian Americans, of Asian Canadians. Part of what we do so successfully with this movie is we take something that could be seen as tropey, like martial arts and kung fu, and I think we really reclaim the space and we empower it, and we surround that with incredible characters that are three-dimensional and that are nuanced and that really kind of grab us and are compelling, more so than just the action, which of course is front and center in this movie. But I think that would be really great for me if I just continue to just challenge the status quo and to break new ground.